Hi, my name's Ian Puddick. People know me online because I was involved in a huge police operation called Operation Bohan by the Counter-Terrorism Police. I won every single case. The police abused me in custody. I was brutalised. The CCTV was wiped. And I made a huge fuss about it and tried to hold every single officer to account, including the police commissioner. During that time, I met David Shayler. And David Shayler is a former MI5 officer. We became very good friends. He stayed with me here at my office for quite a period of time, unfortunately. That was a joke. So we're going to do an interview with David Shayler, and it's about life inside MI5. Now, obviously, there are restrictions, the Official Secrets Act, etc. So we're not going to breach the Official Secrets Act. David wrote a book that the government initially tried to ban called Spies, Lies and Whistleblowers. And it was eventually republished with some redactions. I did actually find out what the redactions were, and it's very interesting. So I'm going to do something I've never done before, and I probably, hopefully, will never do again. David has had a very difficult time. I'm not going to say any more than that. You can watch the interviews and you can make up your own mind what kind of lifestyle David has had to have, unfortunately, because of how he's been treated. So none of my YouTube channel, some of my videos have had 1.5 million views. My YouTube channel is not monetized. None of my videos are monetized. I don't make 1p from YouTube, and my plans are never to do that. However, this one video, there will be a link under the video for donations at your discretion, and every single penny will go to my good friend David Shayler. As I said, you can make up your mind. You listen to what David's got to say, listen to what's happened to him. He's a good man, he's an honest man. He told the truth and was destroyed for it. Well, not totally destroyed. So that's my introduction, and I look forward to speaking to David. So Dave, what was a typical day in the life at the office in MI5?
Well, so it's like any other office basically. You come in, and obviously the first thing I do is...
Big open plan office, or lots of... an open plan office with side offices that were in compartments that were private, or...?
It was generally open plan with sort of units of desks together, basically. Yep.
Friendly?
Yeah, people were friendly. Obviously, I found quite a few people like myself who had arts degrees in English and philosophy, things like that, which was surprising.
So you were a boring so-and-so?
But, yeah, but the job, I say, is like any other. You've got an in tray, and you're processing information to your out tray. But obviously the difference is you're not processing information about volumes of widgets produced. It's about from agents in the field. Yeah, it's agents in the field. It's from what they call signals intelligence, GCHQ. It's from telephone intercepts, from devices placed in people's homes, assessment reports, all sorts of stuff like this. And obviously you don't get it right, people die. Bombs go off and people die. So that's the sense the job is different.
And was there a sense of duty there, that people were there generally trying to do the right thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, people did want to do the right thing.
Good.
Just after I left, I met one of my mentor, and he said to me, I'll never forget this quote. He said, "You work your bollocks off to try and protect national security, but everywhere you turn, there's bureaucrats trying to stop you."
It's in that book.
Yeah.
It's in your book.
Yeah, it's in the book.
It says that in your book.
Yeah, and that, to me, what it was like the people on the ground were really trying hard to do it. And so when I was in the counter-IRA section, a lot of people were like me, who'd come in as this new wave. And we were all quite dynamic and getting on with it. Now, bearing in mind up to this point, MI5's targets have been things like the Communist Party HQ, the Soviet Embassy. These are all static targets, yeah? You don't have to do much moving around. If you get intelligence going to do something, you put mobile surveillance on them. But generally...
Were the embassies all bugged? Presumably they were.
Of course, yeah. The Eastern European embassies were all bugged, of course they were, yeah.
So that was that. So what year was this?
We're talking about 1992 to 94.
So if they were bugged then, we know that they were bugged before because of Peter Wright's claims in Spycatcher. So today, with modern technology, we physically don't have to go in and plant bugs. It'll be easy.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing about the whole digitalisation thing, is it's made...
but it's a game. We bug them and they bug us.
Yeah. But it's made the whole thing a lot easier, obviously, because in the old days you had to have things like tapes. I mean, literally, when I would go and see the transcribers, they had those big old-fashioned spool tapes.
Yeah.
So they've got to go into them and listen to them, and, you know. Whereas now you can digitise it, you can search for certain words, everything.
They had a team of people steaming open letters and resealing them.
That's right.
Teams of people doing that.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
central London.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I went there to see it being done. Basically, yeah. There are all sorts of techniques for opening letters and things like that. Yeah. That was the bread and butter of their work. It was telephone intercept and mail intercept. On people like communists did not have any security access, did they? So using those techniques against them, you could glean quite a lot. But obviously, once you switch that to the IRA, who are highly security trained, you can't use those same techniques anymore. Things move quicker as well. It's not like the IRA would stay in one house; they go somewhere else. So you've got to get the phone on intercept. Now, obviously, to have a lawful intercept, you need to get permission of the Home Secretary.
Home Secretary, yeah.
So you need people who can dynamically get those things up and running very quickly, and they're not poring over bits of paper forever and ever, which is what I saw in MI5. The management said growing up in this era of subversives and spies, and that happened at leisure, which wasn't the same thing as doing the IRA. And I say a lot of people at my level were very motivated, full of initiative, they'd done other jobs. See, the people that came straight from university to MI5 were very easily moulded into the kind of MI5 culture. Whereas people who had other jobs, of course.
But less compliant.
Yeah, well, they just say, well, hang on, we did things differently elsewhere, and it worked, you know, whatever. The MI5 managers didn't often have that, because I say, well, a lot of them went straight from university and just buggins turned in the civil service system, they got promoted to a certain level. That was how it worked when I was.
I can see why you weren't recruited quickly.
Yeah. But the general day, say it was like anywhere else, you'd go to meetings and things like that. If I was doing the IRA, I might travel up to my area. Although I was based in London, my patch was the northeast where I come from, so I know the area. Yeah. Which meant a lot of fun and games up there, and a lot of winning people's confidence. And can I tell you about business, things like that?
Yeah, come on.
Is MI5 had no idea about who to post where. And sometimes it just looked like they were taking the piss. They put the least suited person. So, for example, a liaison officer, a guy from the
Special branch.
To go liaise with Special Branch in South Yorkshire. Now, South Yorkshire, in this era as well, the police are people who left school at 16, 18, working class lads, not like the police is now. And, you know, generally on the whole, they were quite down-to-earth people, very good at dealing with situations, very good at dealing with people. But, you know, they had that kind of northern sense of humour and that sort of thing. They sent up this complete idiot ex-public school boy who should have been, you know, a librarian or whatever. And there's a famous story where he goes up there and they say to him, all deadpan stuff, people, really sorry about this, you know, the money you gave us for the budget, put in a horse, it lost. This guy's, oh my God, what are we going to tell him? 5 HQ? And then they go, no, we're only pulling your leg. It won! We got a fortune! We recruit loads of agents! And this guy's still up in his own thinking, no, we're already... They're obviously winding him up. But I kind of know that kind of thing, because I come from the northeast, you know? And so my kind of thing with them up there, they couldn't believe it. They almost thought that I was some kind of psyop. Because obviously the Cleveland, where I come from, Middlesbrough, when I went up to them, I said,
God's country.
Yep. I said, how many Middlesbrough games have you been to this season? They kind of looked at me like, so many. And I said, I've been to all of them. They went, which team? I went, no, Middlesbrough, all the Middlesbrough games this season. They kind of looked at me like, what the hell's going on here? Some box charm offensive or something, I don't know. But at that basic level of understanding the mentality of people like football, stuff like that, it builds a good working relationship that goes a hell of a long way. You can't put those things in accounts, but the opposite of it can cause a lot of problems. You don't get on with people.
No.
Operations don't happen.
Doesn't matter what you do for a living, it's all about relationships and getting them right. All of it.
Exactly.
All of it.
I even had one situation with somebody coming and saying, God, we have a terrible relationship with Special Branch. You can't even do anything for us. I said, what do you mean you can't go? So I'm getting the news for us. I said, what happens when you go up there? And he goes, well, you go up there and see them. And it was like, of course I go up there and see them. What do you expect me to do? You know, and it's like...
They couldn't believe you talked to them, could they?
Yeah, they couldn't believe it, yeah. So that was a good thing. Obviously, I came from the northeast. I was one of them, and that meant we had very good relations, which worked very well for some of the operations I had to conduct up there. But also local knowledge as well. Sometimes we usually had people from London doing the intercept on this guy who was a Geordie. And if something came up, they would make it out to be really suspicious. So I thought, I better go listen to the tape. I listened to the tape, and it was just his Geordie dialect, basically. They thought there was something suspicious going on, and it wasn't. It was just his accent and the weird words they use. So I say this is...
you might not have
yeah, that kind of thing, yeah. So this gives you an idea of what it was like with MI5. Very kind of unprofessional.
But that's a cultural thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a cultural thing built up by the decades of people that were running or had been running it for obviously long periods of time.
Yeah. And I say the relationship with the Metropolitan Police Special Branch was so bad that at one conference, or when we were talking to the local special branch, I said to them, "So well, got to unite against the common enemy." Now look at me thinking, "Oh God, what's your book about?" Said the Met, and I got the biggest laugh ever. Basically, that's what it was like. And the Met were completely up their own arse. They thought they were so superior, so clever, and stuff like that. But the reason MI5 had got the IRA, of course, on the mainland was the Met had totally failed. When we took over, there was not one agent under control on the mainland.
What year? Because MI5 took over responsibility for investigating the IRA, and that was taken off the Met because they, as you say, they'd failed. Roughly when was that?
The actual transfer date was March 92. March 92, yeah. And I joined...
Because that's not long after Operation Countryman, which has been censored. I've got a copy, obviously. Has been made secret for 70 years by the Home Office, and the conclusion of Operation Countryman, which is an investigation just into the Met Police and City of London Police, my friends, and they said that City of London and the Met was so corrupt. This is in Operation Countryman's report, which has been censored for 70 years. They suggested that it could not be saved and it should be shut down and disbanded, and then it should be incorporated into all the provisional. So Essex would come in and take a bit, Hertfordshire would come in further, because the Met could not be saved. And obviously that was made secret because obviously it's not in the public interest for them to find out that their police force is failing them, and it's still failing them. You know, to this day with Daniel Morgan and a host of other.
You know, it's they've just been declared to be institutionally corrupt as well as institutionally racist.
Yeah, Cressida Dick, the Met Commissioner, deliberately refused to help a judge-led inquiry into the murder of Daniel Morgan, which was certainly assisted by the Met Police and hampered by the police, and they did everything they could. And it's just appalling. And obviously she's had to resign. And all of her predecessors have gone in there, and we're going to change things. And do you know what? The Met Police or any other police force will never, ever be truly accountable until there's civilian oversight. We're going to talk about the IRA in a moment, and I'll be able to talk about Pat Finucane, and I spoke to his son John, who's now an MP. Civilian oversight, members of the public will not put up with all this crap. They shouldn't put up with all that nonsense.
Exactly.
Whereas the culture of the police, or an MI5, which we're going to get to again, they all look after each other and just cover everything up.